Hello YouTube! So we are in for a bit of a long one, but I promise there is a reason for that. The second drawing in this video has a bit of a story to go with it, so I thought that I would touch back on my storytelling roots very briefly and explain to you who this character is. So right now I am drawing, I believe, day 14, for which the prompt was fierce, and how to put this lightly, I hated this drawing. This drawing frustrated me to the point of breaking into sobs when I was actually physically drawing it, because I knew I wanted to create this awesome looking action chick with a gun who's just very fearsome looking and intense, and I could not for the life of me do it. I was fighting this piece so hard, and I was so determined to get it done on time, and I just wanted a drawing and it was the death of me, very nearly the death of me. My mom was sitting there with me. She was just like, calm down, you're gonna be fine, it looks fine. And I was like, no, it doesn't look fine, it looks terrible, all my dreams are horrible. Like, I went on a tirade because of this drawing. So when it came to making it digital, I needed to redeem myself, you guys. I needed to redeem myself. So I decided to change her face because the closed eye look just wasn't very intimidating. It didn't look good. I had a lot of trouble with this arm, and I think because there's foreshortening, but not a lot of foreshortening, so I was having trouble figuring out the proportions. I still don't think that I got the proportions that spot on, or spot on at all. But, you know, I don't think I did horribly, so I'm okay with it. Yeah. This character is just, goodness, this person. I'm not really a fan of the body. I feel like the body, size-wise, it's okay, but it just doesn't feel, the whole drawing feels a little bit disjointed, and I think if I could have just skipped day 14 digitally, I would have, but I'm still glad that I went through with it because I ultimately feel a lot better about the piece now. It's much less of a bad memory and more of a learning experience. So I'm glad that I went in and recolored it and digitized it. So, you know, just goes to show that if at first you don't, no, that's another video. Sorry. Shameless plug, go watch my other video. It's called If at First You Don't Succeed. It's great. By my standards. So, here I am just shading the skin and the eyes and making sure this character looks pretty redeemable. And honestly, I think I kind of enjoy her facial features. She doesn't look like a lot of the characters that I draw. Her nose is much longer and steeper than I usually draw them, which I think it's good. I've been trying to experiment with face shapes, and just trying to master different looks of characters and faces for the sake of just making something cool and breaking out of same face syndrome a little bit. I don't think I'm too bad, but I think I'm just bad enough. So I gave her a little interesting manicure, and there's not a whole lot I want to say about this drawing if I'm being completely honest. But we all know how I feel about dead air. So maybe I will take this time to just throw out that you should totally like and subscribe and love all of my videos and ring the notification bell, because when people don't watch my videos I get sad, and you wouldn't want me to be sad, would you? You wouldn't want to do that to me, would you? I'm sorry, I feel like I need to promote my channel a little bit more. I don't do that enough. Anyway, I'm coloring in her dress, which I decided to leave black because it felt right. I didn't want to go for a very vibrant look until I got to the background, which I wanted to have these very bold, bright, fiery colors. So that's what we went with. Bold, bright, and fiery. Sort of like my room right now, which is incredibly warm. I've turned off my fan so that you guys can have a good recording. I hope you appreciate it. You may hear my dog barking, you may not. I apologize. I think I might just leave a little bit of quiet time. So I will pick back up when we get to the next drawing. I will see you there. So here's the finished product of my awesome looking character. I like the way it turned out, so I hope you do too. So on to the exciting one, and most of the reason this video is so long. First and foremost, this drawing, I put a lot of effort into this drawing. I added in a full background, and I tried to play with some interesting lighting, so I really love this drawing. I hope you guys come to love this drawing as much as I love this drawing, because I love it. I'm really proud of it. I can't wait to improve and touch back on it and see just... this may be one of those videos where I redraw this drawing, because I think that it's... I like it. I like it a lot. So, who is this mysterious lady with the blue fire? So this actually came from a weird, story-oriented dream that I had. And not all of my dreams are story-oriented, but a fair few of them are. So what I like to do when I wake up is string together elements of story and characters and build them into a cohesive plot as a way of both remembering the dreams and making something interesting out of my weird and often nonsensical subconscious. So, for this one, this lady, her name is Elvira, which, completely coincidental that I am now the voice of Elvira. Completely just not on purpose, I swear. Elvira she's not a good person. We'll go with that. She is definitely downright villainy villain. So basically, the story revolves around a young girl who works in and out of the kingdom's dungeons, and she tends to patients and prisoners and does a little bit of cleaning up, and mostly she's just kind of friendly with royalty. Not like super wealthy or well off, but you know, kind of familiar. Her dad's a really like good knight, and her family is well respected. Not super wealthy, but well respected. And one day she goes into the dungeons and ends up seeing something that she shouldn't. She sees another king from one of the way far off kingdoms in the dungeon using a magic there is no way that he has access to, and he's stealing from them. So she naturally reports this to her king, and unfortunately, she is, I don't remember completely how it happens, but she's found out. And the king of this far-off land sends for her. And when she arrives, there is this gorgeous woman, this odd, strange, mysterious sorceress who seems to know things beyond her time. She seems to have an understanding of the world and an access to things that just could not possibly exist. She has access to this magic and this power that nobody really understands, and she ends up kind of pulling the plot along by dragging our main character into this complicated and dark plot where it slowly comes to light that even though this king looks like the bad guy, he has no idea who he's dealing with when it comes to Elvira. So that was really my main just love for this character. She's this very witchy, seductress type character who is clearly in control to everyone except this king. Later on in the video, you will actually see me doing sort of a portrait of this guy in the background. You'll see his like white hair, and I tried my best to accomplish his very eccentric crown, but I didn't want to put too much detail into this background portrait, and I ended up kind of fuzzing it out a little bit so that most of our focus would be on Elvira and her crazy blue magic. A little fun fact about this drawing: the reason that I decided to draw her flowers, her fire, is because I was like, you know, I haven't been experimenting too much with color in Inktober, and I know a lot of people associate Inktober with black and white, and honestly, to a large extent, so do I, but I was like, you know what, I have, you know, some colorful pens, I have reds and blues, and a couple other random pen colors scattered about my house, and I'm like, who is a character of mine who is mysterious and that I could fit with blue? And Elvira just, boop, and she was there. So I decided I wanted to experiment with her witchy awesomeness and her magic fire. So that was basically the story behind that. I wanted to. That was why I did it, because I wanted to. So, I am really just so proud of this drawing. I ended up, or later on in the video, you'll see me move Elvira's like figure down on the page a little bit, so that she fits in with the background that I do. But the fact in and of itself that I do this complex background behind this video is, wow. I loved working on this background. It was hard because it forced me to face certain challenges, like the lighting coming from behind her. I was forced to figure out a little bit of how to backlight her a little bit while also making sure to capture the strong lighting of the fire by her face. So I really just wanted to tackle a lot of lighting, and throughout the rest of these Inktober videos, I do intend to play with lighting a little bit more, especially when it comes to, I think it's day 16 actually, so the next drawing that I do will be of the prompt fat. So I drew one of my other villains, who I'm also giving some pretty awesome lighting, so you have that to look forward to. But here, I wanted to draw a little bit of like the throne room, but the way I envision the throne room of this castle in my head has a lot of large, sweeping glass domes and things of that nature, and I'm just playing with lighting and backgrounds. I don't actually know what I'm doing. So that would be really hard. And I'm not about that. Not right now. Nah. Here you see me making the picture frame that the king, Luthurian, don't ask, I don't know why his name was Luthurian. I don't know what my subconscious does. But this is where I will put Luthurian's portrait a little bit later. I don't think I go into making that for quite a while, but this is the picture frame that I will put his portrait in down the line. I ended up kind of neglecting this picture frame a little bit. Like, I had all the details in, and then I just sort of forgot that it was there. But I did want to make a really ornate picture frame. I did a lot of Googling into different ornate picture frames and just stuff like that so I could find some inspiration for the little details that were in this frame. And I didn't reference any one in particular, I just kind of cherry-picked aspects of different ones that I liked and put them all together. So I hope that you like it. I think it's an interesting little background piece. You'll also notice the potted plant, which is such a weird detail, but I love it. Here I am trying to create a vanishing point so that I could have tile floors of different, like, checkers, and I'm not sure how successful I was. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're not great either. Back to the potted plant. That was my point. The potted plant. I am weirdly proud of my potted plant. I used a bunch of the different leaf textured brushes and just overlaid them in certain areas, and maybe that's cheating a little bit, but I thought that it added some really nice texture to the background. Here I am adding in the different tiles in the background. I wasn't going for super precise, crisp tiles. I just wanted to give more the illusion of depth in the background, especially because, it is the background, so I wasn't going for super detail intensive, because, don't want to detract away from the main figure too much. It was about at this point that I realized not all of the tiles were going to show up, like she was going to cover some of them, so I only did the ones that I was absolutely certain were going to show, which maybe it's the height of laziness, or maybe it's just me being really smart. Yeah, let's go with that. So I really wanted there to be some light coming in through the door back there, because in my mind it's an archway to a garden. I was gonna draw a garden back there, and then I decided that was maybe a little too extra, so I didn't. I'm sorry. But I really wanted there to be lighting coming in from there. So I added in a little bit of highlight on the floor, just to sort of make sure my brain knew, that's what I wanted to do. These pillars were oddly difficult. I found myself having a hard time getting the right texture because I wanted these sort of marbled pillars, and I'm still not completely sure that I pulled off the marble pillars look, but I tried really hard, so that's something, right? Ooh, also, quick note, this pose was completely custom. I used a pose little doll figure, and created a cool pose for this piece, so I was really proud of that, because it felt perfect. I have since lost said posable doll. I am trying very much so to find her. Her and him, actually. There's two of them. I have a guy and a girl, because I'm that special. Ooh, so here I am doing the king's portrait. As you can see, I'm not adding a lot of detail. I'm going very rough and on mostly one layer, because I didn't want to add, like I said, I didn't want to add too much detail to this portrait and make it too complicated. I just wanted to make sure that you got the illusion of a royal portrait in the background. And later I went into the artistic effects part of Krita, I guess. I went to adjust the layer and I added the oil paint finish over the top, which didn't do much really, but I liked it, so I went with it. Yeah, I'm sorry. If you guys want to see me actually, like, draw a version of this as an actual portrait, like, draw a real big version of this portrait, so that you can see this character, I would be more than happy to try. He has an interesting design all his own. So yeah, not too much more to say, which is kind of sad because I was really looking forward to having so much to say about the story and the characters. I think for this part I was kind of expecting to read off the story for you guys, so if you want me to read off the entirety of this little dream that I had, if you guys really want to hear that story, I will gladly tell you. I will gladly read it off to you and, you know, explain all of my fun little weird dreams. As a matter of fact, I think I might do a bit of a series where I just have a speed paint in the background and I tell you guys various dreams and stories that I've had that I find interesting, because I have a lot of those and it's kind of an ever-renewing supply because I sleep every day, mostly, like a normal person. So I'm bound to have a lot of those dreams, so if that's something you guys would be interested in seeing, let me know in the comments down below. I will be more than happy to fulfill your request. I like being a storyteller. I love it. It's why I write things, and it's why I draw things, and it's why I kind of want to make a comic, but not yet. Not anytime soon. There are a couple other stories that I want to tell you, but I really feel like I need to get this Inktober series done and cleared and squared away first so that I can move on. It is February. It's February. It's been months. I should be long done with this by now, but I'm not, and I'm very sorry for that. So, not too much more to say about this drawing, and, you know, in the spirit, that's what I was looking for, in the spirit of not running on too long and boring you completely, I will let you guys continue to watch the rest of this speed paint. I go in and add some more severe, if you will, lighting, and I'm just really proud of this one, guys, so I hope that you love it as much as I do, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Make sure, again, to leave a like and a subscribe, and turn on my notification bell so that you can find all of my future videos and that you are updated when they drop. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, nighttime, time of day, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.
share.